The Ravens defeated the Bengals 34-20. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow went out with a sprained wrist, so he was only 11 of 17, 101 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He also had a carry for 7 yards. This offense can't function without Joe Burrow, so watch out for the insiders' Twitter accounts, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, to see what goes on with this Joe Burrow injury, because if he misses time, none of these receivers should be started whatsoever, except for maybe Jamar Chase. I can understand that because he could get some volume, but other than that, you can't play Trent Irwin, you can't play Tyler Boyd. Just not going to happen with Jake Browning. He was 8 of 14, 68 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He also had 4 carries for 40 yards. He is not an ad even if Joe Burrow misses. Joe Mixon, really the only player on this Bengals offense to have a really solid fantasy day. 16 carries, 69 yards. He also had 5 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Really solid day from him. Keep playing him as you normally would. Just an amazing floor with Joe Mixon. And Travion Williams, 2 carries for 20 yards. Spelling Mixon there. Tanner Hudson led the way for all receivers. He had 4 catches for 49 yards on 4 targets. Back-to-back interesting performances for Hudson, but I still don't think he's an ad. Trent Irwin had 3 catches for 36 yards on 5 targets. Like I said earlier, only really an ad if Joe Burrow is available. Tyler Boyd, 3 catches for 22 yards and 6 targets. He is only really a play if Joe Burrow is available and T. Higgins is out. I think he's more up and down when T. Higgins, like if they have the full roster there, he's going to be super up and down. So not somebody you necessarily need to hold, especially if Burrow is out. Then you can drop him for sure. Drew Sample had 2 catches for 19 yards on 2 targets. Jamar Chase, this is the disappointing part. 2 catches, 12 yards, a receiving touchdown. He did lead the team in targets. He's really the only playable receiver if Jake Browning is in. And even then, I would limit your expectations for him as far as upside. Can't play anybody else with Jake Browning because this passing offense just doesn't go anywhere. Irv Smith did not haul in his only target. He has some people out there who really try to push him. I don't think he's ever really going to be a thing this year. Joe Burrow, like a lot was made before the season that Joe Burrow has this connection with tight ends, but he really doesn't. Like he hasn't made anybody a star really at tight end as long as he's been a pro. He had Thaddeus Moss in college, but in the pros, he just doesn't really make a whole lot of his tight end position. So if you have Irv Smith, you're waiting for that to happen, I would highly recommend to drop him. And Shedrick Jackson also did not haul in his only target. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, his buy low window is effectively closed. 16 of 26, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 9 carries for 54 yards. Keep playing him every single week. Don't worry about the matchup. I know it's been frustrating these last few weeks, but this is the normal for Lamar Jackson. Keep starting him. He's Lamar Jackson after all. Gus Edwards, 12 carries, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Super annoying because we thought this would be the Keaton Mitchell game. Just 8 carries for 33 yards for him. I think both of them, Keaton Mitchell is going to have more of a role. I'm still confident in that because he is the more explosive player. But Gus Edwards isn't going to completely go away. I think at worst, Gus Edwards is going to steal some goal line touches away from Keaton Mitchell, maybe be their primary goal line back. That could be how they deploy these guys in the future. I think Gus Edwards is a better pass protector than Keaton Mitchell as well. So you're going to have Gus Edwards getting more carries than we thought of for the foreseeable future anyways. Maybe down the line, Keaton Mitchell really starts to pull away and be that RB1, but it might take a little longer than we were thinking. I still think Keaton Mitchell is a hold. I want to see one more week of this if they're going to stick with Gus Edwards. And I mean, if Edwards is putting out production like this, then they don't really have a reason to move off of him. So Edwards is going to be a thing, but still, I would still hold on to Mitchell. I think that's going to happen eventually. Zay Flowers had a carry for 7 yards, and Justice Hill, he is a for sure drop, just the 1 carry for 1 yard. Odell Beckham is putting together some really nice games here lately. 4 catches, 116 yards on 7 targets. Led the team in targets by a mile, led the team in receptions, led the team in yards by a mile. Really impressive stuff. I think he's a hold, like a low-end consideration for a receiver play week to week because I think him and Zay Flowers are going to trade off being that wide receiver 1, especially while Mark Andrews is out because it sounds like he's going to have a season-ending injury here. 2 catches, 23 yards on 2 targets before he went out. So Isaiah Likely is going to be a priority add. Definitely add him if you need a tight end. But I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be Odell or Zay Flowers who is truly that number one target. And Zay, 3 catches, 43 yards on 4 targets. Not going to get it done in this one, but I think it's just going to go back and forth. Nelson Aguilar just had the 1 catch for 37 yards, but it did go for a touchdown. Charlie Kolar, he had a catch for 13 yards on 1 target from Norman, Oklahoma. Rashod Bateman, just the 1 catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. I think he's a safe drop. Keaton Mitchell, I just added that 1 catch for 8 yards. Gus Edwards, 2 catches for 8 yards. Justice Hill had a catch for 6. And Isaiah Likely did not haul in either of his targets, but that is for sure to change with this Mark Andrews news. And that's going to do it for me, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Follow at We Are Drafting on Instagram. We have all the position rankings up there now. QBs, running backs, receivers, tight ends, defenses, all for Week 11. Check those out. I will see you over there, and thank you again for watching.